Welcome to Dr. Acer Academy. Today we are gonna learn about weather, climate and adaptations of animals to climate part 1. This is from CBSE 7th class Science chapter 7. One of the first tasks we probably do every morning is to watch out the window to see what the weather is like. Which helps us to choose what clothes and accessories we have to wear and maybe even what we will do throughout the day. If holiday is with clear sun, then we might go for a picnic or go to the playground to play. On the other hand, if it is a rainy day, it might make us think about staying home and read a book. Let us discuss what are the weather and its influence on our lives. Weather is the atmospheric conditions that comprise the state of atmosphere in the terms of temperature, wind, clouds, and precipitation. When we look at a newspaper, we find a column titled Weather Report, which gives us the basic weather conditions of the day. Weather report is a systematic statement which carries the information about the temperature, humidity, and rainfall during the past 24 hours, and additionally, it also predicts the weather for the day. The weather reports are prepared by the meteorological department of the government. This department gathers data on temperature, wind, precipitation, etc. and makes the weather forecast, predicting the weather conditions in advance based on the previous data, so that we can get enough time to face the weather challenges. Here you can see two forecast charts prepared by the department for rainfall for the next 4 weeks, which is based on previous data. In closer look, all the parameters of any 2 days are never the same. Moreover, in a week, there might be a significant change. When we observe the weather data of 15 consecutive days from Gujarat, we see that all 15 days do not have the same maximum and minimum temperature, humidity, and rainfall. The major components like temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind, humidity, precipitation, and cloudiness are the elements of the weather. And these parameters can greatly influence our daily activities. For example, this boy wanted to play football, but as it is raining heavily, he is sad or disappointed that he cannot play. The weather is very variable. It can make different conditions in a single day itself. When we observe a real day from Srinagar, we can notice that the climate is changing from every hour. Starting with a sunny morning, turning into a cloudy afternoon, and ending with a rain in the evening. And a day from Hyderabad, India. Here you can see a chart where in Hyderabad, this chart is related to rainfall. This chart shows the changes by hour in Hyderabad. Furthermore, the factors vary with different months also. In this graph, the lowest temperature is recorded in January and highest is recorded in May. well. Same variation is seen in Shillong of India. Based on this, we can understand that the unpredictable weather conditions usually change from every hour to hour, day to day, and year to year. The weather conditions are different not only with time but also with places too. For example, the conditions observed from 3 different places in India around 2 p.m. The first place is Delhi, after that Srinagar and Tiruvendram. In the same way, at global level also, the weather conditions are different at the same time. On furthermore observation, a weather report shows the minimum and maximum temperature recorded by them. These are recorded by using minimum and maximum thermometers. Scientifically known as the sixth thermometer, records the current temperature and the maximum and minimum temperatures since last reset. In fact, the maximum temperature of the day usually occurs in the afternoon and the minimum temperature generally happens in the early morning. The afternoon section usually has the highest temperature, so summer afternoon can be even more painful. Here you can see that the summer afternoon is very hot comparatively to other seasons. Usually the day lengths are longer in summer than winter due to early sunrise and late sunset in the summer. Here, the December represents the typical winter and June represents a typical summer. In fact, we can notice that summer shows the early sunrise and late sunset. Now, let us compare them. In winter, the sunrise is at 6:55 and sunset is at 17:23 and the day length is 10 hours 27 minutes. Now let us come to summer, which is in June. The sunrise is at 5:23 and the sunset is at 19:14 and the day length is 13 hours 50 minutes. Let us discuss about the primary energy source of the whole solar system. Undoubtedly, sun is a huge speed of hot gases at very high temperature and the sun is reason for all the weather changes. Sun produces a huge amount of energy that is sufficient enough to provide necessary light and heat on the earth. Energy absorbed and reflected by the earth's surface, ocean and the atmosphere play an important role in determining the weather at any place. So, the weather at sea, desert and mountain is different from each other. Usually, weather is referred to short-term changes in the atmosphere which are recorded by meteorologists and have been preserved from months, years to the several decades. Here, the weather represents the change for a small period of time and the weather averaged over a long period of time is called climate. In fact, looking at the climate, anyone can describe the weather conditions of the place. For example, if we find the temperature at the place is high most of the time, then we can say that the climate of the place is hot. Additionally, if there is also heavy rainfall on most of the days in the same place, then we can say that the climate of the place is hot and wet. Another essential point is changes in the climate can be identified by using the mean annual temperature, which is a valuable climatology tool that can assess an area's climate change. Mean monthly temperature is calculated by adding up the daily mean temperature of each day of a month and then dividing the sum by the number of days in the month, 31 for January. This mean monthly temperature is used to compare the temperature between months. Mean annual temperature is calculated by taking the mean average of the coldest month of the year and arranging it with the mean average of the hottest month of the year. For example, when we look at the mean annual temperature of Srinagar and Thiruvananthapuram, we can understand its importance for estimating the weather conditions. The average annual minimum and annual maximum are higher in Thiruvananthapuram than Srinagar. Now, come, let's compare them both. First, average minimum. In Srinagar, it is 7.13 and in Thiruvananthapuram, it is 23.4. And annual maximum in Srinagar is 22.13 and in Thiruvananthapuram is 30.8. And the mean rainfall in mm in Srinagar is 631.4 and in Thiruvananthapuram it is 1828. Therefore, anyone can understand that Kerala is very hot and wet in comparison to Jammu and Kashmir, where the climate is moderately hot and wet. Likewise, Rajasthan shows higher temperature during most of the year and quite low in winter, and later stays for very few months. Rajasthan exhibits a typical desert climate with high temperature and receives very little rainfall. Hence, the climate is hot and dry. In contrast, northeastern India receives rain for a major part of the year. Therefore, we can say that the climate of the place is wet. The world's wettest place, Mysuru, is also present in this area. It receives a huge amount of rain in the area.